It's 92.7 WOBM. Justin Lewis talking to David Duchovny. Of course, we all know him well from TV's The X-Files, Californication, Twin Peaks, and much more. Got an album that came out last year, got a new one coming out this year, coming to the Stone Pony in February. But of course, David, I do need to ask you about some of your TV work. And I'd like to talk about Garry Shandling a little bit, of course, the iconic comedian that we sadly lost last year. And you made a number of appearances over the years on The Larry Sanders Show. Are there any memories or stories you can think of that you'd like to share about Garry Shandling?
Well, Garry was a great friend of mine, and aside from that, he was a great, as you say, a great comedian, and one whose influence is really so pervasive that it's almost invisible.
Absolutely. Yep.
And I compare it to like Hendrix, you know, where you listen to Hendrix and it sounds like he was recorded yesterday, and you watch Garry do stuff and it's like, hey, that's the we're doing now, and
right.
it's 25 years old.
Yeah, of course.
Personally, he was just a great friend, you know, and it's a great loss to not have him as somebody I can call, somebody I can see. But you know, there's a million different stories about Garry that are quintessentially Garry, but I think just his openness to good ideas, you know, and his instinctual reliance on what is funny to him. For instance, like he came to visit me in a hotel room when Tay and I had gone into L.A. to go to the Golden Globes, and I lived in Vancouver at the time, so we were staying in a hotel, and he comes over him in a robe. And I said, hey, would it be funny if we were doing a scene, you know, like now I have a crush on you and I'd Sharon Stone you with my robe,
right.
You know. And, you know, that's how his show worked.
Yeah, and of course that made it on to the Larry Sanders Show.
Yeah.
And no, I really appreciate that. I mean, you can really, you know, I can really hear your affection coming through when you're talking about it.
I miss him daily. His picture's up above my mantle.
Oh, that's nice. I have to tell you, and I'm not joking, I'm not trying to be funny. I actually just spent a week in Vancouver, and it did rain the whole time. To be fair, it really did. But it's beautiful.
That's fair, but I got to tell you, I love Vancouver.
It's honestly amazing. I actually just wrote an article. It's one of the most beautiful places I've ever seen.
It really sure is.
So, you know, I got to ask you, two agents I need to ask you about. Of course, Agent Mulder, but what about Agent Bryson? Is she coming back to Twin Peaks?
Yes.
Okay.
Agent Bryson is still working. She hasn't retired yet.
That's awesome.
And she still has good legs.
So Twin Peaks coming back in May to Showtime. What was it like getting back into that role? Because that's been quite a while. Yeah,
it was quite a rude awakening when I saw this version of my face in makeup. Not a pretty sight.
Excellent. Yeah, a lot of people really excited about to see where David Lynch is going to take things now.
Yeah. No, David Lynch is he's a singular voice and completely in control of his own voice, which is why his work, you know, you could be watching television and they put up a scene from somebody and you could tell it was David Lynch without knowing what it was.
And of course, I do need to ask about the X-Files. We've heard that there, quote, have been conversations about another go-around. Is there anything you can elaborate on?
A lot of conversations.
Yeah.
A lot of chatter.
Okay.
A lot of chatter.
Okay. So it's not a foregone conclusion at this point.
Let's say, I mean, if I was a betting man, I would bet that it would happen.
Okay.
I'm not, but it's still a bet.
Okay. I will take your bet. I appreciate that. So the show, again, it's coming to the Stone Pony on February 24th. Really excited. Actually, I'm going to try to come out there and check it out.
I hope so. I've never been to the Stone Pony, so I'm looking forward to it myself.
Yeah, well, the whole area is beautiful. So, you know, maybe grab a drink beforehand. I'll show you around a little bit.
That was a big album for me. Greetings from Asbury Park.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sandy, the waitress I was seeing, has lost her desire for me.
Yeah, I think a lot of us feel that way these days. And David Duchovny, I think that is a perfect place to wrap it up. I really, really appreciate your time today. The album, Hell or Highwater, it's available on iTunes. It's available on Amazon. And we will see you at the Stone Pony coming up on February 24th.
Yes.
Really, really appreciate your time today. Thank you so much.
Thank you.